What if I told you that working harder will never make you rich? It sounds impossible, but the biggest money mistake isn't how much you earn, it's the money rules you've been following your entire life. Most people spend decades chasing more income, yet they still struggle financially because nobody ever taught them the hidden rules that quietly separate wealthy people from everyone else. And here's the surprising part. Once you understand these rules, you may never look at money the same way again. In this video, we're breaking down the most powerful lessons from the rules of money in a simple and practical way that anyone can understand. You'll discover why some people always seem to stay ahead financially, the habits that quietly build wealth over time, the mistakes that keep millions trapped in the same financial cycle, and the mindset that can completely change the way you earn, save, invest, and grow your money. But don't skip ahead, because the final lesson is the one that ties everything together, and it has the power to completely change the way you make financial decisions for the rest of your life. As you watch, ask yourself one question. Which money rule have you been breaking without even knowing it? If you find even one lesson valuable, make sure to hit the like button, share this video with someone who wants financial freedom, and tell us in the comments which money habit you want to change first. And if you're serious about mastering money, building wealth, and learning life-changing ideas from the world's greatest books, subscribe to the channel and join us, because your journey towards smarter financial decisions starts right now. Chapter 1. The money rules most people never learn. Imagine this. Two people earn the same salary, live in the same city, and even work at the same company. 10 years later, one is financially free, while the other is still worried about bills. What created such a huge difference? It wasn't luck. It wasn't a secret investment. It was the invisible rules they followed every single day. Most people believe that making more money automatically solves financial problems. It feels logical. If your income doubles, your life should become easier. But here's the surprising truth. Many people who earn six figures still live paycheck to paycheck because they never learned how money really works. Money follows rules whether we know them or not. If we ignore those rules, money slips away. If we understand them, money starts working for us instead of against us. Think about it. Imagine someone gets a big promotion and starts earning much more than before. They buy a bigger house, a newer car, expensive clothes, and luxury vacations. Their income increases, but so do their expenses. From the outside, they look successful. Inside, they feel trapped because every month they must earn more just to maintain their lifestyle. Now imagine another person with the same promotion. Instead of spending every extra dollar, they continue living below their means. They save consistently, invest wisely, and avoid buying things just to impress others. Years later, their investments begin producing income on their own. They now have choices instead of pressure. This is one of the first rules of money. Wealth is not about how much you earn. Wealth is about how much you keep and how wisely you use it. Here's a real-world example. Warren Buffett became one of the world's richest people, not because he spent the most money, but because he understood the power of saving, investing, and allowing his money to grow over time. While many people chased expensive lifestyles, he focused on building assets that continued creating value year after year. Psychology also plays a huge role. Our brains naturally want immediate rewards. Buying something new feels exciting today, while saving for the future feels boring. Businesses understand this perfectly. Every advertisement tries to convince you that happiness is just one purchase away. But the excitement fades quickly, while the financial burden often stays for years. Most people don't realize that every purchase is also a decision about their future. Every dollar can either disappear forever or become a small employee that works for you through investing and smart financial decisions. So before buying anything, ask yourself one simple question. Will this make me look rich today or help me become wealthy tomorrow? That single question can completely change the way you think about money. This first rule teaches us that financial freedom begins long before your bank account becomes large. It begins with the daily choices nobody else sees. Master those small choices, and you build a foundation that can support lasting wealth. But if keeping money is only the beginning, what is the next rule that allows wealthy people to stay ahead while everyone else keeps chasing the same paycheck? That's exactly what we'll uncover in the next chapter. Chapter 2. Why the rich play a different financial game. Have you ever wondered why two people can have the same education, the same job, and even the same income, yet one keeps getting richer while the other never seems to move forward? The answer is simple. They are playing two completely different money games. Most people are taught to work for money. From childhood, we hear the same advice. Study hard, get a good job, work long hours, and earn a bigger paycheck. There is nothing wrong with working hard. But the problem begins when your paycheck becomes your only source of income. The moment you stop working, your income stops too. Now picture this. Imagine two friends who both receive a yearly bonus. The first friend celebrates by buying the latest phone, designer clothes, and an expensive vacation. Within a few months, every dollar is gone. The second friend also enjoys a small reward, but uses most of the bonus to buy investments that can grow over time. Years later, those investments continue producing income, while the first friend is waiting for the next bonus to spend again. This is the hidden game that wealthy people understand. They don't just work for money, they make money work for them. Think about business owners. When they build a successful company, the business can continue earning even when they are not actively working every hour. Investors think the same way. Instead of spending every dollar they earn, they buy assets that have the potential to increase in value or generate future income. Their goal is not simply to earn more. Their goal is to own things that keep producing value. Here's a powerful real-world example. Jeff Bezos didn't become one of the wealthiest people by collecting a large salary. Much of his wealth came from owning a growing business. As the company's value increased, so did his wealth. Ownership created opportunities that a paycheck alone could never provide. Now consider your own life. Imagine planting a fruit tree. During the first few years, you see very little reward. You must water it, protect it, and remain patient. But once the tree matures, it produces fruit season after season. Assets work in a similar way. They often require patience in the beginning, but over time they can create rewards long after the original effort has been made. Here's the interesting part. Wealthy people also think differently about spending. Before buying something expensive, they often ask, "Can this purchase wait until my investments pay for it?" That question changes everything. Instead of using today's income to buy tomorrow's lifestyle, they allow tomorrow's income from assets to pay for today's dreams. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy your money. The lesson is about balance. Spend with purpose, but build assets first. Every asset you own becomes another step toward freedom, while every unnecessary expense can delay that freedom. The biggest difference between average earners and wealthy people isn't intelligence or luck. It's the game they choose to play every single day. One group trades time for money forever. The other slowly builds systems that continue creating income without depending on every hour they work. And once you understand this game, another important question appears. If building wealth is really about daily choices, then what habits quietly separate financially successful people from everyone else? That's the powerful lesson waiting in the next chapter. Chapter 3. The hidden habits that quietly build wealth. What if becoming wealthy has less to do with making one brilliant decision and more to do with repeating a few simple habits every single day? Most people wait for a lucky break, a perfect investment, or a huge paycheck. But the truth is, wealth is usually built long before anyone notices it. Imagine two people standing at the bottom of a mountain. One wants to reach the top in a single giant leap. The other takes one small step every day. At first, the difference is almost invisible. But after months and years, the person taking small steps reaches the summit, while the other is still waiting for the perfect moment. Money works in exactly the same way. Most people underestimate the power of small financial habits because the results don't appear overnight. Saving a little each month doesn't feel exciting. Investing consistently doesn't make headlines. Reading about money, instead of scrolling through social media, doesn't seem life-changing. But these small actions quietly build a future that most people never achieve. Think about it. Imagine you decide to save just a small percentage of every paycheck before spending anything else. At first, your bank account grows slowly. It may even feel like nothing is changing, but something important is happening behind the scenes. You are building discipline, and discipline is one habit that money always rewards. Here's a real-world example. Bill Gates is known not only for building a successful company, but also for his lifelong habit of learning. He has often spoken about reading books regularly because every new idea improves the quality of future decisions. Financial success is not only about money, it is also about constantly improving the way you think. Now picture this. Two neighbors both receive a raise. One immediately upgrades their lifestyle. The bigger apartment, the newer car, and the expensive subscriptions quickly consume the extra income. The other keeps living almost the same way and uses the additional money to invest and build assets. 5 years later, their lives look completely different. The first neighbor has more things. The second has more freedom. This is called avoiding lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most powerful habits wealthy people practice. Every time your income increases, you have a choice. You can increase your expenses, or you can increase your future wealth. Another hidden habit is patience. We live in a world that promises instant results. Social media shows overnight success stories, but real wealth usually grows quietly over many years. Just like a tree doesn't become strong in one season, financial freedom doesn't appear after one good decision. It grows through hundreds of smart choices made over time. Most people don't fail because they make one terrible mistake. They fail because they repeat small, unhealthy money habits every day without noticing. In the same way, successful people rarely become wealthy because of one perfect investment. They become wealthy because their daily habits keep moving them in the right direction. So ask yourself this question today. Which habit is shaping your financial future right now? The answer may reveal more about your future than your current paycheck ever could. But even the best habits need one final rule to unlock their full power. In the next chapter, you'll discover the lesson that brings everything together. And once you understand it, you'll never think about money the same way again. Chapter 4. The final rule that changes everything. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that money is no longer the center of every decision you make. You don't panic when an unexpected expense appears. You don't stay in a job you hate just because of the paycheck. And you don't feel the pressure to impress people with things you don't truly need. Sounds impossible? It isn't. But it only happens when you understand the final and most important rule of money. Here's the hidden truth. The ultimate purpose of money is not to make you look successful. It is to give you freedom. Most people spend their entire lives chasing a bigger income, believing that more money automatically means a better life. But they often forget to ask one simple question: what am I earning this money for? Without a clear purpose, even a large fortune can disappear. With a clear purpose, even an average income can create an extraordinary life. Think about it. Imagine two people who each save $1 million. The first person constantly worries about losing it, never enjoys life, and keeps comparing themselves to others. The second person uses money as a tool to create choices. They spend time with family, invest in learning new skills, support causes they care about, and make decisions based on values instead of fear. They have the same amount of money, but only one of them is truly wealthy. This is the difference between having money and mastering money. A great example is Steve Jobs. Throughout his career, he often spoke about building products that made a difference instead of simply chasing money. His focus was creating value first. The financial success followed because people were willing to pay for something meaningful. This teaches us an important lesson. When you focus on solving real problems and creating value, money often becomes the natural result. Now consider your own journey. Every financial decision you make today is shaping the life you'll live tomorrow. Every dollar you save, every smart investment you make, every unnecessary purchase you avoid, and every new skill you learn is like placing another brick in the foundation of your future. The interesting part is that financial freedom doesn't begin when you become rich. It begins the moment you stop allowing money to control your emotions. Fear causes people to avoid investing. Greed pushes them into risky decisions. Pride makes them buy things they cannot afford. But wisdom helps them stay patient, think clearly, and make decisions based on long-term goals instead of short-term feelings. So remember the 4 rules we've discovered. Keep more than you earn. Make money work for you. instead of working only for money. Build small habits that grow stronger every day. And above all, use money as a tool for freedom, not as a symbol of status. Imagine where you could be 5 or 10 years from now if you started applying these rules today. Your financial future is not decided by one lucky opportunity. It is built by the choices you make after watching this video. The rules of money have always been there. The only question is whether you will ignore them like most people, or use them to create a life filled with freedom, confidence, and lasting wealth. Your next financial decision could be the one that changes everything.